Adaku, come here. I need to tell you something.
No!
Don't be afraid. Just listen.
Money needed to be made. I could not sell myself, so I became a mortuary attendant, and my first night became my last. The corpse sat up slowly and called my name. Adaku, not nurse, not girl, my real name. The lantern fell from my hand and shattered across the floor. Then the dead woman pointed toward the mortuary door and whispered, "They have come for me." At that moment, I knew I had made the biggest mistake of my life. 3 months earlier, life in Umuagu village was already destroying me. My father was dead, my mother was sick, and my younger brothers had nothing to eat. I searched everywhere for work, but nobody wanted to hire a woman with no connections. Then, one afternoon, the hospital announced they needed a mortuary attendant. The moment people heard it, fear spread across the village. Old women refused to walk near the hospital at night. Men whispered that the mortuary was cursed. Some claimed bodies moved after midnight. Others said voices called their names from inside empty rooms. But fear could not feed my family. So I accepted the job. The first person I met was Papa Obi, the oldest worker in the hospital. The moment he saw me, his face became pale. Then he grabbed my wrist tightly and said, "Every night, count the bodies carefully." I laughed nervously, but he did not laugh back. "Sometimes," he whispered, "you will count more bodies than were brought in." That sentence followed me into my first night. Around midnight, police officers brought in the body of an old woman found inside Ayo Ohio forest. Papa Obi refused to enter the room after seeing her. That was the first sign something was wrong. Slowly, I uncovered the woman's face. Her skin looked dry and ancient. Grey braids rested tightly on her head. Cowries hung around her neck. But the thing that terrified me most was her feet. Fresh red clay covered them completely, as if she had walked out of the forest herself. Even in death, she did not look dead. Later that night, while arranging the bodies, I heard laughter behind me, soft, low, unnatural. I turned quickly. Nothing was there. Then suddenly, the lights flickered. I looked toward the old woman again, and my blood froze. She was smiling, slowly. Fear crawled through my body immediately. I remembered Papa Obi's warning, count the bodies. So I started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bodies. But when I turned around again, there were 6. My breathing stopped instantly. A 6th body stood at the end of the room, covered completely in white cloth. I blinked hard, then counted again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. I looked back again. The 6th body was standing closer now. That was when the lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed the room. And then, the whispering started. Adaku, Adaku, Adaku. Voices from every corner. I grabbed my lantern with shaking hands and lit it again. The moment the light returned, the 6th body was gone. I ran out immediately and found Papa Obi outside praying quietly. Before I even spoke, he looked at me and said, "She has chosen you." My heart nearly stopped. I asked him what he meant, but instead of answering, he looked toward the forest and whispered, "You should leave before midnight." I should have listened, but I didn't. Then the drums started. Slow, heavy, ancient. Boom, boom, boom. At first, they sounded far away, then closer and closer, until the hospital windows began shaking violently. The air became cold. Every mortuary drawer burst open at once. Bodies shifted inside the darkness. Then I heard footsteps, bare feet walking slowly across the floor. I lifted my lantern carefully toward the hallway, and that was when I saw them. Women dressed completely in white, floating above the ground. Their eyes glowed pale like moonlight, and every single one of them was staring directly at me, and from the darkness behind them, the old woman appeared again, but this time, she was no longer a corpse. Her eyes burned bright white, black smoke twisted around her body, and she floated above the ground like death itself. Then she pointed directly at me and said, "You belong to us now." Suddenly, pain exploded through my arm. A burning mark appeared on my wrist. I screamed and collapsed to the floor. Then my shadow started moving on its own. The lights exploded above me. Glass rained everywhere. The hospital doors slammed shut by themselves. I tried to run, but the hallway kept stretching longer and longer. No matter how fast I moved, I could not escape. Then, suddenly, a powerful voice shouted behind me, "Enough!" Golden light filled the corridor instantly. Papa Obi and the village elders stood at the entrance holding sacred staffs covered in white chalk. The spirits screamed violently. The elders began chanting ancient prayers. The entire hospital shook. Golden light crashed against black shadows. The spirits were forced backward toward the forest. Then Mama Nkem screamed one final time as her body began breaking apart into dust. And suddenly, everything became quiet. By morning, the drums were gone, the fog had disappeared, and the mortuary became silent again. I never returned to that hospital after that night. Years have passed now. I have children of my own. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear drums coming from the forest, and every once in a while, I wake up and see fresh red footprints beside my bed, waiting.